Hello everyone and welcome back to Platform 1. You're joined by myself, Jack and Dave,
Hello.
once again here at the Hattons Hub. And we're coming on 1 week on from our bumper special episode that we hosted last week on the show. And we had a lot of news to talk about, didn't we, Dave?
We did indeed. It feels a little bit different to be back on our 60-minute slot today, doesn't it, really, after the full 90 minutes we did last week. But as ever, we've got a lot more to cover this week as well with, as we ever have on Platform 1, there's a lot of news, a lot happening, and pretty much everything to look at again, really.
That's it, and you can already see a few, possibly some returning favourites that you may see on the table here today in front of you, so there's plenty for us to talk about. Do get your questions down in the chat as well. In fact, we've already had a few interesting questions today haven't we? So are you ready to answer a few quick-fire questions here, Dave?
We usually do a bit of a Q&A for 5 or 10 minutes at the end of the episode, but I'm sure we can flip it round and do a bit at the start and a bit at the end as well, so let's hear them.
So do get your questions in the chat for the rest of the show. We will have our normal Q&A at the end as well, but we're going to get a few answered here right now as well because we've got some very eager questions straight away. So we've got Richard Svidersky says, hi, looking forward to another great stream.
Hello.
700 Shunter, once again here from Australia. First question of the day here is from a Bluegrass Rail fan, and he says, morning guys, and he hopes we got to see his Canadian Pacific military streams that he sent us on Twitter. And shame no model makers doing them currently.
Yes, now you showed those to me, didn't you?
Yeah,
There's 5 new locomotives painted by the Canadian National Railway, isn't there? The Canadian Pacific into different military colour schemes.
Yeah.
There was a NATO one, a army coloured locomotive as well, various painted as fighter jets. They really are worth a look, actually, so do check out that tweet because they're quite some unusual colour schemes for some US locos. So thanks for sending us in that. It was actually something really, really novel to see. There's not a lot of army-coloured locomotives in the UK at the moment, so it was something really, really good to see, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Maybe it's something we might see on some of our locomotives one day as well, but really glad to see that. So thank you very much for sending it in, and we'll definitely be sharing that with the rest of our team as well here at Hattons. And that was honouring some US and Canadian
I believe
military
yes.
personnel, wasn't it? So that was really nice. We've got Lakota Thoralf here as well, and they say the double-tendered version of Bitten should be out soon. Have we got any more information on that one?
It is indeed. We're expecting it just at the start of December, that one. That's the model of the LNERA 4 as it is currently preserved at the museum in Margate, which is next door to the Hornby offices as well. So Hornby model next to the real-life locomotive.
Excellent. That's all part of that one-to-one collection, isn't it?
That's it.
We've got a few more hellos here as well. We've got SLD51 back again, says hello. Ethan Amstutz, Onno Mulder, looking forward to the show. We've got Anthony Strathmore Road Junction, the Don Juan King Fox Junction, Paul I. Haywood from Australia here as well, and we've got Upwell and Onwards tuning in live from New Zealand. And then we've got one more question here, just a quick one for you. We've got SLD51 again, and he says, will Hornby's LNER Azuma 800 be released at the end of the year?
Ooh, now that's something we haven't got an exact date on at the moment. We are expecting a little bit more of a confirmed date from Hornby very soon. The most we've been told at the moment is it's going to come either just after Christmas or slightly into 2020. But that really is a model that's quite hotly anticipated. It's the train at the moment on the East Coast Main Line in the UK. So do check out our website for that one. We still do have a few available to pre-order, but to be honest, we haven't got that many either. So if one takes your fancy, do take a look and get your pre-order in.
Well, the IAPs are really the hot train of the UK at the moment, and the GWR models that we've had previously have gone straight in and straight out the door again, really, even when we've gotten some new variants in stock. So if you do want one of those, you'll want to get your pre-order in because they're going to go very quickly indeed. But we will be featuring it on Platform 1 when it comes in as well.
We will
so
indeed.
Keep your eyes peeled for that one as well. So yeah, thank you very much for your fantastic questions already, and do get more down in the chat and we'll have a chance to speak more about those in the end of the show. But yeah, so last week we had our bumper special episode, as we mentioned before, and there was a lot of news in that one. So if you didn't get a chance to see it yet, do check that out on our channel as well. Of course, if you're new to Platform 1 as well, we do stream every single Friday, and we've got all the latest news and updates and bargains and everything else from across the hobby, really. So last week we featured some big updates for our Class 66. All of this you can find out about on our website as well, so do check out the links in the description or head onto our main website front page and you can see all the latest news. We've announced 5 new liveries last week for the 66, and we also showed off the first production sample, and you can actually see a video of that running on our layout on our YouTube channel right now, so do go and check that out on our channel as well after the show. And we also had some big news for our Project Genesis coaches last week, didn't we?
We did indeed. That was the announcement of the full brake versions, which are available in pretty much every livery that's already been announced for the coaches. So we had a lot of feedback on the designs. Many of you wanted full brakes to complete the sets or to give new modelling opportunities. So you asked and we listened essentially, and we've added them to the range, all of them available to pre-order now. And if you want more details on those, either watch last week's episode of Platform 1 or check out the website and the full info is there.
That's it. Keep your eyes on the website and all the latest news goes on there as well. So you can check out all of that right now.
But so what about this week?
What about this week? We've got plenty of stuff here on the table. As you can see, there's loads to talk about today, as ever. So we're going to get right into it, I think. And where to start, really, better than these wagons are absolutely dominating the table today.
This is it. We've pretty much filled the table with these today, and these are the new releases of our FEA wagons as well as the RHTTs. And we'll have a look at the FEAs first, actually. And these are the second run now. The first ones of these came in about 8 months ago, and they absolutely flew over the shelves. To be quite honest, they surprised us with how quickly they went out the door. But these are modern intermodal wagons, developed and produced in real life from 2003, alongside double wagons as well, pretty much forming the backbone of container services across the UK. And as you can see, there's quite a few different operators and quite a few different liveries on these as well. You've got Transplant Yellow, you see there on the screen at the moment. You've got Freightliner and GBRF as well, giving you 3 really distinct colour schemes.
That's it. We've tried to cover as much as we can of the lifespan of these wagons so far, and as you can see, there's already quite some distinctive liveries that have come out of it. And it's not just intermodal duties that these are used for as well, really, Dave, is it? There's a lot of infrastructure work that these see, hence the track panel carrying versions that we've got. And the Transplant livery one is also used in the metropolitan tunnels, isn't it, in London?
That's exactly it. They do stretch far and wide, and as soon as the wagons were introduced for the container traffic across the country, they found that they really could be made useful for other duties. Hence, you've got the different designs of the track panel carrier. You'll see here you've got the longer version and the treble shorter version as well, dependent on the operator, and they do come with the appropriate models, as you will be able to see on the listings on our website if you follow the link in the description.
But they really are a modular wagon, aren't they? And we have tried to showcase that with our models as much as we can. But they are a fantastic model, these, aren't they? You've got pretty much the entire wagon is a die-cast construction, so they really are quite heavy for something that's a flat bogie wagon, really. There's not actually that much to it when it's this flat, but it's really is quite a heavy thing. But you've got a lot of separately fitted parts here as well, haven't you, with all the brake rigging and all of the other pieces on the sides. It's really quite a nice model, and there's a lot of printing on these as well. It's
not only that, but they walk the walk as well as talk the talk, really, because they are such a low wagon and a heavy wagon as well. They have a really low centre of gravity, so certainly running as part of a rake, as you see here on the screen at the moment, they do have absolutely no running issues at all, either through tight curves and point work. You can run a couple in a rake as a shunting duty or a small container service, or you can get a really large rake together with maybe with something like a Class 66 on the front to accommodate the more international duties. They're going from England to Scotland, for example, and some of the close-ups we just saw there really show the finesse of the printing here too, showing not only the company logos but a lot of the safety indicators on there as well, really down into those finer details, and quite tricky to get in some of those nooks and crannies you see there as well, including the data plates. But they really do just look good on their own, and it's almost a shame to put a container on top and suddenly not be able to see that detail.
I totally agree on that one. There is a lot of nooks and crannies that we've managed to fit these data panels and other bits of printing onto, and you really can see all the details on those. It's fully legible, all of the text and all of the numbers on those. It's just to the naked eye. Even under a microscope, you can probably see them even in detail, but you just looking at them bare on the surface, they look fantastic. But you can see them going around here on our test track. We've got a 47 and a 73 hauling those around on the track there, and they do really look the part, but as Dave said, it's a bit of a shame to put some containers on top of those because they just look fantastic as it is, but there is a lot of container stock out there if you wanted to add some on top. And of course, with the track panel carrying versions, you could also model some infrastructure duties as well, so you can actually put some track panels on there, some cut-up bits of flexi-track or something like that on top, and it'll look great.
And they get paired up with a lot of modern locomotives there. You saw the 2 that we had on the shop, but also a lot of the classic designs can work with those too on a couple of rare occasions. but some of the really modern locomotives available in 00 scale as well. You've got the Class 66 coming from ourselves, you've got the Class 90, the 86 in there, the Class 68 as well from Dapol. Lots of different opportunities for you modern modelers to get these on your layout.
That's it. And if you want some inspiration, there's a lot of fantastic photos out there of these in operation. And you can see them in quite a lot of the West Coast area on a daily basis, really. It's something that actually comes past our shop on a regular occasion, isn't it? So we're quite fortunate to see them in daily use. But they're not just these wagons, in a full train, isn't it? You can actually run these with other wagons too. So you've got Dapol's twin set FEAs that you could run these with, and other wagons too, so that you can get a bit of a varied train running and a bit of different intermodal traffic on there as well. And
of course as well, if you do want to model these and you're not quite sure which ones to get or how to pair them up with other vehicles in your collection, do let us know. Get in touch, either drop us a message on Facebook, get in touch with our customer experience team, come into the shop, whatever's the best way for you. Even leave a question right now if you like and we'll get round to answering it. And we can help you out and get you sorted with the models that are best for you.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned earlier that our original batch of these came out about 8 months ago and they absolutely just flew off the shelves.
Yes.
So this second batch actually covers the Freightliner, GBRF and the Transplant models, but the Freightliner and the GBRF ones this time have actually got new running numbers. So if you've bought the FEA wagons in the previous batch, you could actually purchase some new ones with different running numbers, so you've just got a bit more added realism there as well.
And the best bit is the price has remained the same for this second batch as well, hasn't it? They start at £32 for the container versions and then go from there for the track panel carriers.
That's it. We're going up to about £50 or £59 for the track panel carrier versions, and the full details of all the prices and everything else you need to know are all on our website. So if you hit that link in the description, you can find out more and you can order yours today. But we don't see these ones hanging around either. We've produced some more to meet just that extreme demand that we had for the first batch. A lot of you guys really wanted to build up your long container trains with these. So if you do want to get some, you're going to want to get them fairly soon, because I doubt these are going to be in stock for a long time, really.
I agree with that.
So talk a bit about FEAs. Got to talk about the RHTT as well, haven't we? Because that's come back into stock now as well.
Now, this is actually the FEA F wagon. This is a development of the container wagon we've just looked at. As well as the track panel carriers, they really looked at what opportunities they could use for these. And the track cleaning in the UK is something that's become more and more of a requirement over the years to help locomotives and multiple units get their grip on the track during the autumn season. Now, there was never really a bespoke train for this. There was a couple of converted tank wagons and coaches until the early 2000s, but nothing that was actually built for it, and Network Rail decided that they really needed to get a grip on this, so to speak.
Well, they'd really seen the success of what had happened with the start of the FEA wagons, hadn't they? And they realised the potential to build a modular unit on top of those, just because of what they'd already been used for on the container and the infrastructure traffic with the original FEAs, really.
That's exactly it. So this is a modular design as per the container and the track panel wagons as well, and these are used pretty much everywhere in the country to help either get more grip on the rails or just to clean the leaves off the track during the autumn season. So you've actually got two different types as well. You've got the water jet versions, which are purely to clean the railhead, or you've got the sandite version as well, which applies a sticky sort of goo on the track, which helps the train's adhesiveness, shall we say, to make it sort of so they don't slip and slide during the autumn season. And they've been a success ever since, really. The design was immediately popular, used all around the country. There's a slightly different type available in the southeast, but mainly they are the design that's been modelled by us here. And you can see them everywhere with everything.
Absolutely everywhere. I think it's something we touched on before. It's modelers in pretty much every part of the country can get an RHTT onto their layout, because they're such a versatile unit. And the fact that they can run with just two locos, one at either end, and sometimes they do movements even with one loco on it. They're so easy to get them out there that they can be used everywhere. I think we've even said they use them right up into Scotland on some on some occasions. He'd been used on the Welsh coastlines, all over the place, really. So there's something for everyone. And the beauty of it is, if you did want to get some inspiration, or if you do want to see what they're really like, you can go out there and see them on the actual railway right now. They do get out everywhere and are out pretty much every day at the moment in this autumn season, with all leaf mulch on the line and other issues with adhesion out there, they really are put through the paces at this time of year. So it's the perfect time to see them, and it's the perfect time to get one on your layout as well.
And with them being introduced in 2004 and running until the current day, and they've got a huge amount of life ahead of them as well, they've run with pretty much every type of diesel locomotive on the UK's railways since then. We're talking about modern designs such as the Class 66, the Class 68, the Class 70, but a lot of the classics as well, some of the old favourites. You'll see them regularly with Class 37s, Class 20s if you live in Yorkshire, or you've seen the photos from over there as well. Class 47s in there too, Class 56 locomotives. You pretty much name a freight locomotive on the UK rails that's operated since 2004 and it'll have ran with an RHTT.
That's it. You can still see the 20s out there today as well, can't you? Which is incredible.
There is not many wagons in the UK that run with that sheer variety of rolling stock as well. But let's take a closer look at the model as well. There's a huge amount of inspiration, but the model can inspire you too. It does have the subtle differences on the underframe between the container wagons and the RHTT sets as well. The main difference being the jetting gear, which actually applies the sandite or the water to the railhead. But it's above there we've really got to talk about on these with the 3 different modules.
Absolutely. Now, you touched on before that there's 2 different types of RHTT sets. So you've got your sandite set and your water jetting set. Now, the one we've got on the table here is the sandite set. And then in this box here, this is where the water jetting one is sitting today. Now, there is some slight differences in basically the modules on these, isn't there? So the water jetting one, as you'd expect, has got some more water tanks, which are these ones, and they're more for the sort of cleaning duties that go out there, isn't there? And then the sandite set, like we've got here, has got more of these sandite modules on, and they're used for applying more grip and adhesion to the rails. And we've managed to do these 2 different sets, so you can run whichever version you prefer on your layout.
And again, this is the second batch of these available. They are available either clean or in a prototypically weathered condition as well. We were quite surprised at just how popular they were at the first release, as with the FEAs. So they are available to order right now on our website. We have had the restocks. These are the same running numbers as the previous batch as well, but there are quite a lot of different variations available should you wish to get another set if you've got one already.
That's it, absolutely. And these pristine models are prime for weathering up yourself if you wanted to do that. A lot of customers wanted to go for the pristine ones, and that's why they sold out so quickly, really, so that they could apply their own weathering to them, because it's almost kind of difficult to get weathering correct for these because they get so dirty, so encrusted in muck. It's almost unique every time you see one because they're just absolutely filthy, and it makes the locomotives absolutely filthy as well. So it's potentially something you could do with your own locomotives as well.
That's exactly right. And for those of you who want a bit of a closer look and a bit more inspiration, check out that link in the description, not only to order yours now, but we have some really up close and personal photos of the level of printing detail we've got on these wagons, including the container wagons as well there. We have formations guides suggesting some of the wide variety of locomotives and models that you may already have that you can pair with these as well, and just some really high definition images of the quality of the tooling and the details we've managed to get on there as well. And they do look great just paired up with locomotives just running on a layout as you see here. And these are the weathered versions that we mentioned previously.
That's it, we've got a mixture of the different wagons on show here. We've got a few close-ups going through, as you can see. Got these hooked up to a 37, I believe. I think we'll probably cut that back to that in a second. But you can just see the amount of detail that's on these. You've got lots of separately fitted parts. And I believe it's 50 layers of printing per wagon, which is just astounding, really. But you can see there's that many different logos and warning stickers and bits of text to say, do this, don't do that. We really had to get all those on there. And as you can see, even on the weathered ones, a lot of that is still legible just to the naked eye. So it is quite incredible, really, what we managed to pack into these. You can see there as well, there is an optional coupling bar you can install as well. So that aids a little bit on some of your tighter curves and just helps to provide a slightly more realistic closer coupling in the center of the wagons as well. But you can see here it's pulling off with some DRS 37s top and tail in the RHTT, and it really does look the part, doesn't it, Dave? It's just a fantastic looking run of it. It
does, and as said, there's a lot of people, no doubt some of you watching the stream today, who've seen these across the network over the past few weeks as well. They really do stand out, either whether they're in the clean condition you see here, or if they're in the more prototypically grimy condition as you see on the screen now. They are just a completely different part of the UK's network and really followed all across the country by enthusiasts and modelers alike.
That's it. So these are available right now, as we've said, for £118 for the 2-car pristine set. It's £126 for the weathered set. And we do also offer expansion packs for both types, which gives you an extra wagon, because sometimes they run as 2 wagon sets, sometimes 3. Now, we talked a little bit about this before, haven't we? Yes. Where on some lines, they don't have a chance to refill the water stocks, or they might just need to go a little bit further with the working that they're doing. So they might just pop another wagon on there to just give them a bit of extra capability for whatever set they're going to do. But you can model that on your layout as well, because we've got this expansion pack for you, which is available for either £59 for the pristine one or £63 for the weathered one. So it really is a great price you're getting there as well.
And again, check out that link in the description, not only to order them, but we do have full details on what sets run where. So if you're not quite sure whether you want a 2 or a 3 set, whether you want the sandite or the water set, or even if you want a clean or a weathered set, pop over to our website and all the info's there to help you out.
That's absolutely it. Now, you mentioned as well, obviously, before, the amount of locomotives that these run with as well. You're bound to have something that can run with this already, so you might not even have to buy a locomotive to run with it. Like you said, 20s, 37s, 47s, 57s, 67s, 68, everything. So you'll have something that you can run with a RHTT, so it's a perfect one for any layout, really. Right, we've got a few guys here chatting about the RHTTs in the chat. We've got the unnamed railway. I hope you'll come up with a name one day for it. We've got, could your 2 Royal Scotsman Class 66 run with an RHTT one at either end? I'm not sure if they use some of those
could
duties.
do. Now, the Royal Scotsman is one of the new 66s we announced last week, and they have been seen off the Royal Scotsman duties as well. I've never seen a picture of one on a RHTT duty, but that's not to say they haven't got on them so far, because they have been seen on intermodal duties with the FEAs here. They've been seen on other track maintenance duties as well, so you certainly could do. If you want to take a really prestige locomotive and put it on a really grimy RHTT set, just as a bit of a contrast, it's perfectly possible.
Well, to be honest, with how versatile the Class 66s are and how often you need to just rush them into service on duties like this as well, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that one day, to be honest. I'd keep your eyes on Flickr or somewhere like that, and I'm sure you'll see a picture of it in that condition at some point.
If it hasn't happened already.
You never know. I'd love, if someone can find out and put in the chat, I'll be very excited to see that. We've got Anu Mulder says, awesome, these FEA wagons. And then we've got James Akers says, he saw the railhead treatment train for the first time in Cromer, Norfolk on Wednesday. Right. It looks great, and it was being pulled by a 37 and a 66, and the model looks really great. And he's asked, does the model come weathered? So, as we say, yeah, it does come weathered. If you prefer, we've got the pristine one on show here, which is what's just come back into stock in the second batch. But we do have weathered models still available as well. They're available from £126 for the 2 wagon set, and like I say, you can get the expansion pack as well. But do hit that link in the description, you can find out all about it. As Dave says as well, there's lots of guidance on there of how you run them and what locomotives you can run them with, and lots more on there as well, so do check that out.
And that's a really good example of where, okay, you do have 2 locomotives, one at each end, but you don't have to have the same type as well. If you've seen one with a 37 and a 66, that's a really good combination of old and new as well, and some great models out of the 37 and our Class 66 coming through as well. So just another opportunity, one of many, really. Pretty
much unlimited opportunities with an RHTT, really, isn't it? I'd love to see the someone calculate exactly how many combinations you can have with those.
I think you need a big bit of paper for that one there.
Absolutely. Right, so where are we going to go now, Dave? I think we've got a little bit more news from our side today,
we have, and this is one that people have been waiting for quite a bit. We do get questions about this regularly, and we are really excited to be able to show you something more detailed now. This is our GPC 12-ton placer crane in 00 gauge. Now, we are getting further down the development process with this, and as you'll see here, we have fully confirmed the identities and the liveries and the colour layouts of all 10 examples being produced. Developed originally in 1979 in real life, they are still in use on the UK's railways today. There's also quite a few preserved, and we are doing liveries to cover the entire operation of these vehicles. As you can see here, we're going through the liveries starting in 1979, coming up to the mid-1990s with the yellow, and then this is where it starts to get a little bit different. You've got the Jarvis colours there from just after the privatisation. You've got coming back through into the yellow, but with a completely different branding under Carillion, with different company owning them there. Coming back to a bit of both red and yellow there, actually, with the GTRM colour scheme. But as you can see from these images, they do include the full level of safety signs, the usual high definition printing. Great example of what we've produced already so far on the RHTT, but the quality there will be carried right across to the GPC cranes, even into the more modern livery of Balfour Beatty there that you can see today.
As you can see from these images, there's been a fascinating history to the GPC cranes. They're kind of an unsung hero of the network, really, in that you don't really get that much of a chance to see them out there in action, but they're always there ready to press into action for various duties, really. And as you can see from those colour layouts there, we've got quite a lot of different livery options coming through that represent pretty much the entire lifespan of them, from the late 1970s right up to today, because incredibly they are still in service now. Like with the last two liveries you saw there are in Balfour Beatty colour scheme, so they're still around on the network today. The beautiful thing is as well, there is a lot on preservation lines. They're found to be very useful on there.
There are indeed.
And I think it's due to the small size of them. They're quite compact, but they pack a lot of punch, don't they, for what they need to do. So they're quite easy to use, quite manoeuvrable and quite easy, especially for a lot of preserve lines where they might not have a huge amount of track.
So you may have seen one around either on the proper railway or on a preserve line as well there. And there was actually over 30 of these built in real life as well. So they did really have quite a numerous number to them, and they were based at various strategic points across the UK. So you've seen them either waiting for duty or maybe even on a task ready to go, really. And because of that small size and the versatility too, everyone thinks that a crane is mainly used for lifting trains back onto the track when they've come off, but these were actually used for a lot of construction duties as well and trackside maintenance. So you don't just have to have a derailment to have an excuse to get a GPC crane.
You can see there from some of the prototype images actually that there's a few different, I believe that's a turbot hooked up to that one there, isn't it, with some ballast in it. So there is quite a lot of versatility to these cranes, and there's a lot of different options for rakes that you could build with them. And there is a lot of other stock that you could potentially run with these already, isn't there, out there?
It's like we were saying about the FEA and the RHTT before. A lot of modelers, especially of the modern image, will have items already that really suit these cranes. You're talking yourself there, we had the turbot wagon that you saw for a moment. There was a lot of engineers' rakes that these would have been hooked onto the back of to get them to a site. Ballast wagons, flat wagons and track panel carriers as well. Some real opportunities to pair them with items you already have. And these are available to pre-order right now for £69. You can check out that link in the description for more information. But as with the models we've produced before, including the FEA and the RHTT, we are going to be absolutely jam-packing these with details.
Oh, absolutely. It's what you'll expect from Hattons, really. With, like Dave says, with the other models we've already produced, you've got a fully detailed jib on there, haven't you, with very fine cables on there and other separately fitted parts. You've got handrails separately fitted, immense amount of printing, which you will have been able to see from the colour layouts there as well. There's a lot of warning signs and bits of text and all the little bits and pieces on there. We'll actually just go through these colour layouts again just quickly so you can have another look. And there is quite a versatile, like quite a variation of liveries there, which is quite interesting. So there's a few different colour schemes you can go for. And as we said, these cover them right up from 1979, as you can see with the BR Engineers Yellow colour schemes right now, right up to the present day. So there is something for 30, 40 years of layouts to use.
There is indeed, and you can see there from the colour layouts just the sheer amount of warning signs and safety panels, etc., even back on the 1980s liveries, never mind the current day. And we've almost cut our teeth on the RHTT, really. We've been able to apply a huge amount of safety labels and delicate printing onto models and wagons. So we're ready to do the same on the GPC, and as you can see there's not really a panel that's been left without a sign or a notification on it. So we've got some real work to do there, but again, based on the RHTT, we will be able to replicate every single thing that was on these wagons in real life.
Absolutely. Now, we're aiming to make this model as realistic as possible. We're putting a lot of work into making sure that it will be the best that it can be. As you can see from the colour layouts there, there's a lot of work already going into that, and we're very excited to let you know that within the next month or so, hopefully, we should have CAD images to share for this as well, so that'll give you a really great idea of how the model will be shaping up to look, and then from there we'll be able to get a first engineering prototype on the way sometime in 2020. Now this means that the date for delivery is now Q1 2021, so they will be coming through around then, but we will have a lot more development news to share as we go on. But this just goes to show this is the stage we've gotten up to now, and that there will be a lot of updates coming soon with this project, really, so we're very excited to share more with you. Now, the GPCs, they were used in quite a lot of the UK, but do you know specifically what regions they were used in?
There are quite a lot of different regions, really. We've seen images of them in use in Scotland, in the northwest, northeast as well. I believe the only place they didn't really get to was the southeast, but even then we've seen a couple of images of them getting into there, really. So where they had the strategic bases, there was a lot of places like Crewe or Totem Works in the Midland as well, main sort of network hubs, shall we say, so to speak, where they were easily accessible and could get to as many places as possible. But at the same time, with such a versatile item of rolling stock, it will go where you need it.
Absolutely,
really.
Yeah. It's such a small thing, but so useful that it could just be used anywhere, couldn't it?
That's
but
exactly it.
It is quite, in a weird way, it's almost quite similar to the RHTT, isn't it? In the it's used with a multitude of different locos and other rolling stock, and could be seen pretty much anywhere in the country.
That's
so
exactly it.
There's a bit of a similarity there to those two.
And of course, to keep exactly in touch with the project, as soon as we get news, we'll let you know. If you place a pre-order, or if you sign up to a notification, or of course, you keep track of Platform 1, and as soon as we get more, we'll let you know.
That's it. Like we say, we should have CADs to show over the next couple of months, and from there, we'll be getting even more updates on it as well. So the ball is thoroughly rolling with the GPC now. We're very excited to see more on it. Right, we've got the comments are just lighting up for this one. So we've got a lot of guys really excited about the cranes. We've got Lakota Therauf says the new breakdown cranes look pretty nice. Are they powered at all? Now, in real life, they're not powered completely, are they? But
they're able to move themselves, but only for short distances, really.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be able to haul a train, so to speak, but they certainly can move themselves within a work site. But our models won't be powered.
No, that's fair enough. We've got Rocky Road TMD, because can't wait for the crane, and also asking about the motorization. We've got 700 Shunter, says the trains would go well on works trains. They absolutely would.
That really is a great place to have them, not only on a cameo on your layout, maybe of a construction site or even a derailment if you wanted, but passing through on the back of a works train or an engineer's duty that you've already got the models for as well. It really is a great place to have one of these.
That is the beauty of a model like this as well, isn't it? Because it's perfect for using on actual running trains, and but you can also use it for a diorama scene if you wanted as well. So there could be an accident that's happened or a bit of maintenance work that's going on, and it could just be sitting there as part of a scene, and it'll look just as great as it would running with a train as well.
That's exactly it.
We've got Jackamas Prime 50 says they look cool. We've got Aiden's Railway says loves the look of the cranes. Matt Slade, they are looking good. Richard Swiderski says plus cranes look great. Andrew Boothles says those cranes will look good with the departmental FEAs.
It's a really good idea, actually, to get a bit of modern combination there as well. If you go for either the Balfour Beatty or one of the other model liveries there, nice little pairing to have.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe that could be something that could be seen on a real railway too, with the Balfour Beatty ones. We've got Elton Loveridge says, do the head and tail lights work on these models?
They don't have any operational electrics on them, I'm afraid, so there's no motor in there or any electrics as well, but the lights will be modelled, so they will be fitted on there, but as a detailing part rather than a fully working piece. But at the same time, the axles will be metal on there as well, and there's a small little bit of room inside that's part of the design anyway, so if you did want to customise them with lights, or if you even wanted to put a motor in there, you should be able to with a little bit of work, and I'd love to see it if you did do, so do let us know.
Absolutely, absolutely. They are ripe for a lot of modification, these models, really.
Yes.
And we've got Graham MCK says, afternoon guys, great show as always, and he's just ordered his Balfour BT crane, so that's fantastic, and like I say, we should have more updates for you on it soon, and hope you enjoy it when it comes out. Aiden's Railways again says BR yellow for him. Andrew Boothel says, will the crane be able to be shown in different poses?
It isn't going to be posable, no, but again, it will be sort of deconstructible, so to speak, so if you did want to amend it, you should be able to do that with a little bit of work.
That's it. Ben Davis says, crane looks amazing. He's going to have to go for the Jarvis Fastline Maroon, as it looks a little bit like an LMS Red, and he could almost run it with one of his LMS trains.
That's not a bad little point, actually. There is quite a lot of colour schemes. Everyone thinks as engineering stock is always a yellow item, either British Rail yellow, Transplant yellow, or Network Rail yellow as well, but these cranes, either in the Balfour BT blue and white, or the Jarvis Maroon, really do get some exciting colour schemes on them as well.
Absolutely. We've got Clive Cobbold says he's got one on pre-order. Thank you very much for ordering one of those. And we've got Scott Malcolm as well, who says he's looking forward to the crane, and a hello from Canada as well. So yeah, like we say, those are available to pre-order right now for just £69 with the amount of detail that we're bringing in with them as well. Of course, there's liveries to suit layouts right from the BR era right up to today. and they should be coming through in Q1 2021. So keep your eyes on the website for more updates on those. And if you'd like to get one, do pop your pre-order in now, and we'll be posting more details to you as they come in.
And check out that link in the description for more info.
Absolutely.
Now, I think we've got to get big.
Yeah.
I think we've got to go really big.
You O-Gauge guys need something today.
I think we've got to go big. I think we've got to go, express diesel locomotive?
Yeah.
Coming soon?
Iconic design.
Pre-order them now? Yeah, I think that's the way we're going to go with this. So what have we got?
We've got Helgen Class 55 Deltic.
Now, the Deltic has got to be the most well-known express diesel locomotive on the UK railways. They're just so different than any other design, with the Napier power units in there as well. Actually developed for military boats before the locomotive use as well.
Right.
So completely different to any other design out there. And these are well known for working on the East Coast Main Line for over 20 years, but they've still got that huge cult following as well in preservation today, with 6 of them surviving. And Helgen's model is coming back out due to that popularity. This is the second release, and so many people have wanted it. It's back.
It's been a few years since we've had these in stock, isn't it? And it is like it's one of those absolute cult iconic locos. Everyone knows what a Deltic is. It's like everyone knows what HST is. Everyone knows what the Flying Scotsman is. It's a Deltic. You've got to have it. And of course, like we'll go through those pictures again because we only went through those very quickly. We've got 3 colour schemes coming through across 4 variations, haven't we, Dave? So we've got the BR Blue coming back once again, and a couple of versions of BR Green too.
And get my words out. The BR Green covers the whole of the 1960s on these locomotives as well. So it covers the original BR Green with no yellow ends as the locomotives were first delivered. Covers through to the iconic half yellow ends, which a couple of the locos are preserved in today. And as you see there too, the 1960s and early 1970s livery of BR Green with the full yellow ends, that will be provided weathered as well, as the locomotives did get a little grimy in that time. But also, as you see there on the screen, you've got the BR Blue too, which the locomotives were painted in later in their lives before withdrawal in the early 1980s. And again, these just really are the icons of the East Coast Main Line during that era. They gained the nickname racehorses as well, as a lot of them were named after racehorses, which is a tradition that goes right back to the A3 locomotives as well. So keeping that East Coast prestige and heritage alive through the design. And they were only really replaced by HSTs, because the HST could go a little bit faster. It was a full train, it was the modernisation, but they still had a lot left to give. And many of the Deltics have ran on the main line ever since, really, since the preservation back in the 1980s. So you can still see them out there today.
That's it. They're still out and about everywhere, and obviously there's a lot in Pres too, so you can get a ride behind one on a lot of preservation railways across the UK, really. So Helgen's model, we've had this before. Had an original batch a few years ago now, and they sold through very quickly. There was a lot of popularity for these. Obviously, with being a Deltic, first one in O-Gauge as well, people were really quite after these. And bringing it back now, it's the amount of detail you expect from big Helgen O-Gauge diesel. It really is their forte now, is bringing out these big diesel locos.
It's got 2 really large 5-pole motors in there with flywheels. It's got a DCC adaptability in there as well for a wired decoder should you want to put one in. It's got fully working directional lighting, including the head code boxes as well there. And of course, the important thing for O-Gauge is they do come unnumbered as well.
Yeah.
So you can recreate any of the 22 locomotives, whichever one was your favourite or is your favourite, can be modelled on this.
That's it. Now these are coming through at £509.15, and they should be due pretty soon, shouldn't they? Is it next few weeks?
We've been told to expect these at the back end of next week, actually.
Oh, excellent.
So
nice.
They really are coming soon, and as you can imagine with O-Gauge locomotives, numbers are strictly limited as well, and we do have quite a few pre-orders in already. So check out that link in the description if you'd like to place your pre-order, and we do have some really up close and personal photos on the website as well.
That's it. Now, we've talked about being such an iconic locomotive. It's one of those where you might want to buy it for your layout, but it might be a great thing just for on a mantelpiece or as a display item as well, because it's such an iconic engine. You know, it's something that you might just want for display as well, so it's perfect for that.
And the size and the presence there as well. We have had O-Gauge locomotives on the Platform 1 table before as well, and of course we have videos on our channel of other locomotives from Helgen in O-Gauge, such as the Class 37, and it's just a presence for me. really. The Deltic's coming at just under 2 feet long, which for a model, it's starting to get between model and miniature locomotive, I think, really.
And they're super heavy as well, aren't they?
They do have that presence. They weigh in at about 2.5 kilos, so you've got a huge amount of adhesion there, whether you're using them on a small depot layout or even to a fully extent, something like a garden railway or along those lines. You can have them working on their own, or you can have them pulling a full rake like they would have done on the East Coast Main Line.
That's it. So we're very excited to see these coming in the tail end of next week. We've got some great images on there already on the website, so do take a look at those if you're looking at ordering one. There is a link in the description if you want to check out more as well. But of course, once those come in, we'll have even better photos from our studios on there, and you'll be able to order them as well. So not too long to go for those. Right, we've got SLD51 here, and he says, love the Class 55s. 700 Johnson says a double heading of Deltics would be cool to see. Love to see that in O-Cage, that'd be absolutely hellfire.
In real life, I think they've actually put 5 of them together on the front of a train, which had almost 20,000 pounds of horsepower on there as well. So I think they had to slow down for quite a few of the bridges because it was that heavy, but
I'd imagine so.
It'd be interesting to see that in model form if anyone fancies it.
Anyone want to try buying 5 O-Cage 55s? Be our guest. We've got David S. says they look great in BR Blue. Evanswood Central says my favourite Class 55 Deltic is the one named after the Scottish Regiment Black Watch.
Yes, can't think of a particular number of that, but a lot of them are named after regiments as well. You've got Royal Highland Fusiliers in there too, and Royal Scots Grey as well, so quite a lot of military history as well as the racehorses there as well.
That's it. Right, so we're going to stick with the diesel theme, but we're going to shrink it down a little bit now. We've got the next version of Hornby's Railroad Class 59 due into stock very soon, haven't we? This is probably going to be coming in around early next week, I'd imagine.
Yeah, next few days or so, this one. Now, this one's a little bit different as well. This is 59003 Yeoman Highlander in the GBRF livery there, and this is the only Class 59 owned by GBRF, and the only Class 59 in their livery. But the history of this locomotive differs from the others as well, doesn't it, Jack? Yeah,
there's a bit of an interesting story to this one in that it was exported. It's come back, hasn't it?
It's one of the few British locomotives that's left the country that actually has come back into service in the UK as well. It was exported to Germany in 1997. Of course, with it being a US loco as well, it's made the journey across the Atlantic, then a little bit further into Europe. And
so then a bit of travelling then, hasn't it?
And then after almost 20 years of service in Germany, GBRF did purchase it and bring it back to the UK to help work alongside their Class 66s.
Right, okay.
With the similar design there. And a lot of you, I'm sure, already have looked at it and seen that it is similar to a 66. This is almost the father of the 66, really. The design developed in the 1980s from the American SD40-2 locomotives. Yeah. Really shrunk down into a UK shell and brought over here in the 1980s to work out of a lot of quarries in the southwest of England. And this really was a pivotal moment in UK railway history, because this was one of the first really mainstream foreign design locomotives to come and work on the UK railway network, and one of the first privately owned locomotives to work there as well, in a country that was ran fully by British Rail in the 1980s. These independent, privately operated US locomotives were about as far as you could get from everything at the time. And of course, 10 years later, the 66s started coming through, and that just carried on changing.
That's it. I believe these actually were the first US mass-produced, semi-mass-produced, privately owned locomotives on the network. So they really were groundbreaking for the time. And as you said, they developed on to the 66s. So I know a lot of people actually call the 59s daddy sheds because it is basically the father of the Class 66. But you can see how it is such an important locomotive in that it's gone on to spawn probably the most versatile and most used diesel in the UK at the moment.
That's exactly it. And you can see from the model there as well that there are subtle differences in the design. You can see the different headlights on the front there, as well as a couple of different grills on the side and differently designed bogies. But you can certainly see where the 66 got its design, looks and power capability from.
There's a family resemblance there,
There is indeed. And of course, Hornby's model as well, it is part of the railroad range, but it does have that high definition printing that you can see of the Yeoman Highlander nameplate, the numbers and the colour scheme as well there. It does have full digital capacity and NEM couplings as well.
It's one of those where it's another one of Hornby's classic railroad models that they've brought back with a brand new livery on there. But they've not skimped out on the livery details, and it does have a lot of features there for you guys who are looking for a little bit of a more bargain price model, or if you're just looking for something to go on with your other collection that you've already got. So, like you say, there's NEM couplings on there, you've got full digital capability, and the livery design looks fantastic on there as well. And this is all coming in for just $76.50. So it is a great price for such a big diesel on your layout, something quite iconic as well. And in that bang up-to-date livery, so there's a lot of different stock you can run that with as well.
And they're a great partner for the FEAs, the RHTTs, a lot of the other modern vehicles that we've showcased on Platform 1 recently as well. So do check out that link in the description where we have them available to pre-order right now. And as soon as we get them into stock next week, we'll be sending you one out.
That's it. But that's not the only Hornby diesel that's on the way this week, is it?
It's not at all, no. We are being spoilt, actually, for heavy diesel locomotives. And this is more of a British design. In fact, this is the last major British locomotive design. And this is the Class 60. Now, this was developed by Brush in Leicestershire and developed in the late 1980s. So this really was the UK's response to the Class 59 locomotive design, saying that these US locomotives have come over, but we can still make one too. And 100 of the Class 60s were built, and quite a lot of them still in use today with different operators, including GBRF, as we just saw there on the 59. But this is one of the original liveries in rail freight construction, as you would have seen them built and delivered to British Railways.
This really is the look for the Class 60, isn't it?
Yes.
This is what, when people think of a Class 60, this is the livery that you expect to see on it, really. And there really is a cult following for these locomotives. There's a lot of fans for them out there, and they really do have quite an identifiable look with that big boxy shape that they've got going on there. But the Hornby model is widely renowned as one of the best double gauge diesels that's been produced. Really, and there's a lot of features on this model. You've got full LED lighting on there, really detailed body and underframe, detailed cab, very heavy chassis on these as well, and an incredibly powerful, very smooth motor in there as well. Now this one's coming in for £162, and that should be coming in within the next week as well, alongside that 59.
They have produced a lot of liveries on these locomotives, as carried by the real-life counterparts over the years on this model, but it's the first time in quite a few that that original rail freight construction livery has been available to order as well. So for fans of the 1990s scene, even stretching into the early 2000s, this is the Class 60 for you.
That's it. So, like we say, that should be coming in pretty soon, so keep your eye on the website for that one. There is a link in the description if you want to pre-order it, so we would recommend doing that, because I'm sure it's going to be popular with just the one livery coming through for that one. And we look forward to seeing it soon. We should have more pictures on the site as that comes in as well. So do keep your eyes out for that one. Right, so we've got some more, even bigger news for Hornby this week, haven't we?
We have indeed, yes.
And some of you might have noticed we've got this year's catalogue on the table. So what does that mean for us?
Well, that means that Hornby have confirmed that their 2020 range will be announced on the 6th of January, on a Monday at 10 o'clock. And of course, we'll have it fully on our website and featured as soon as we know more. So do save the date and head to the link you see on the screen and in the description there for more info as and when we get it.
That's it. You're really going to want to add that date to your diary. Bookmark that page on our website as well, because that one will be updated as soon as we get all that information. It'll be all piled onto hattons.co.uk/Hornby2020. Nice and easy one to remember, but we have put a link in the description for you as well. But we do recommend saving that somewhere, and you can check back to that on the day and get all the updates as they come through.
And for those of you who are as eager as us, really, to see what Hornby have got on the way, you can pre-order the 2020 catalogue right now on our website as well. So again, click that link in the description for more info. And we're not quite sure what's going to be in that yet, but we're looking just as forward to it as you. And as soon as we can give you more on that, when we know more, we will.
I'm sure Hornby will have some surprises for us. We're very excited to see what comes through. So do keep your eyes peeled. Let us know if there's anything you'd like to see in it as well in the comments. And yeah, we'll find out more in January, I think.
We will indeed.
So we've got Upwell and Onwards says he totally loves the new Terriers, as the details of running quality are incredible. He's probably seen the ones we've got on the table over there. So we thought we'd just have a little bit of a look back at some of the great releases we've had through this year. You can see there we've got two of Hornby's Terriers. We've got the pale green Ruston 48DS shunter, and we've also got one of their re-releases of the Class 92 in the Caledonian Sleeper livery as well.
It has been a great year for Hornby, not only with their brand new tooling, such as the locomotives we see here, but some of the old favourites coming back into the catalogue as well. We've shown quite quite a few on previous episodes of Platform 1 as they've come into stock and as we've got more details on them. So check out those previous episodes for a look. But who knows what's going to join them in 2020? Hopefully just as many exciting new products and some real surprises in there as well, no doubt.
That's it. And it's not even the end for the 2019 range yet. As we've said, we've got the 59 and the new livery for the 60 coming through in the next week. We've had the first version of the Ruston come through, but there's still 3 more liveries to come from that one as well. And there is a lot of other liveries for the other previously released models coming through and some other surprises too. So we're really excited to see the rest of that 2019 range coming in, and even more in the 2020 range.
And of course, everything already announced right now can be pre-ordered or bought on our website if we have it available. But as soon as we get the 2020 info, we'll let you know.
That's it. Right, so our last main bit of news for you this week focuses on probably the biggest show of the year for the modelling community, really. And that, of course, is Warley. So Warley is just over a week away now, taking place on Saturday 23rd and Sunday 24th of November down at the NEC Exhibition Centre in Birmingham.
And this really is where, basically, if you're into model railways, this is the place to go. A lot of the manufacturers are there showing off forthcoming samples of their items. We'll be there ourselves showing off the latest developments, including the RHTTs, work on our GPC and on Project Genesis and the 66s as well. And most importantly, me and you will be there, Jack.
That's it. If you want to come along, if you want to ask any questions, find out anything from the Hattons team, obviously me and Dave will be there. Come and say hi, come and meet us, take a selfie, do whatever you want with us. And, you know, you can find out much more about our models too. As you can see from some of the shots here, this is from the 2018 show, sorry. So you had a few shots of our stand there, so you can see there's quite a lot to see on our stand. And some amazing layouts too. You can see the Great Model Railway Challenge layout from 2018. But there will be other Great Model Railway Challenge layouts here this year. The winners of this year's show, spoiler alert, Railmen of Kent, will be here, and I believe there will be a few other surprise GMRC contestants who will be there as well. I believe the Loco ladies will be in attendance, and also Who's Counting Rivets as well. So there'll be a lot of those layouts you can see, alongside the amazing range of other layouts on show as well.
That's exactly it. They usually have 90 plus layouts there of pretty much every theme, scale and size, so you can really get some absolutely impeccable inspiration from attending and getting some ideas for your projects as well. They always have a few full-size locomotives and items of rolling stock too, so just to be able to compare the one-to-one scale items to the model items as well. There's always a lot of that rolling stock on display. There's a lot of traders there as well to pick up a bargain. So it is the place to go if you are into model railways and in the UK at the time.
Absolutely. I'm sure Warley says on their website it is the must-go show, and it really is. If you're into model railways, this is the place you've got to come. All the manufacturers are there. Loads of suppliers and stores like us are coming. Obviously, myself and Dave will be there to meet you as well. And there's so many incredible layouts. Every year, they really up the ante with the quality and the diversity of the layouts that are on show. And of course, like we said, the Great Model Railway Challenge layout will be there as well. So there's a lot of interesting things to see this year.
And information is available on our website, giving more details of the show as well. So have a click at that link in the description if you'd like to find out more. If you are already attending and you've got your tickets, make a note that we are on stand A40 and we look forward to seeing you there.
Absolutely. Like you say, we'll have the latest samples for our Class 66 there as well, so do make sure to come and see those. And of course, we'll have news and updates on every other project we've got going on at the moment as well.
Yes.
Right, so we've got Matt Slade says he's going to be at Warley both days, so do come and see us at 8:40.
We'll see you
And
there.
we've also got London International, and he'll be there on the Sunday as well. So we do really look forward to seeing you guys. It's one thing we really do love to see is so many customers at the shows. Love to hear your thoughts, ideas, any comments you've got, because you've always got some great things to tell us. So we look forward to seeing you there, and we'll be there for both days.
We'll see you there.
Right, so we've got about 8 minutes left on the show now, and we've got a lot of questions here today. So thank you again for all your fantastic questions and thoughts coming through. If there is anything you want to ask, get it down in the comments right now, and we'll try our best to answer them in our quickfire questions round for Dave.
Let's see how many we can do. Challenge time.
We can get through. But don't worry, if we don't get a chance to answer your question right now, ask us it on social media, get in touch on the phone, get in touch on email, get in touch via the website, whatever way you want to do it, and our help desk team will be able to help you out with those as well.
Let's get started.
Let's start. We've got Lee M. Malion, and he says he's wanting a Class 66 and to convert to digital after watching the latest videos. We've got 700 Shunter, and he asks, is there any news on the LSWR Terrier in 00?
That's not something I've seen an LSWR version being produced at the moment. There are 2 more locomotives being produced alongside those we have currently available to order. They are another variation of the London, Brighton and South Coast Railway livery, but also a Southern Railway olive green livery with the Isle of Wight style bunker as well. They are available to pre-order right now. They're item codes 3811 and 3812. But we do have South Eastern Chatham and Kent and East Sussex available right now. But who knows? We might just see that LSWR one in the 2020 catalogue. And if we do, we'll let you know.
I don't think we've seen the end for the Terrier, of Hornby's new Terrier yet, really, because there's been a lot of liveries this year, but they've sold through very quickly.
Yes.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they want to bring out some more. We've got SLD51, and he asks, do Hornby's Class 92s have directional lighting? Now, they certainly do, don't they?
They do. They have front lights only, but they do operate in the direction of travel as well. And they are quite a bright light, white light as well in there. So clearly able to see in the direction of travel at both ends.
It is impressive for the price that model comes in there. It does include that as well, especially like you say, it is a bright, quite modern LED that they put in there, so it is quite a nice addition. We've got Peter Dixon, and he says, hi guys, on your new Class C6, there's super cab detail but no drivers. Will you be offering driver figures to fit in there?
Maybe something we offer in the future, but currently we don't have those available to order. However, if you are looking to put your own driver in, they're a really easy body to get off. It does just clip off and the cabs will be there ready for you to put a driver in. And we'll certainly review looking at doing a driver for those. It's something we'll take on board and let you know.
Definitely thank you for the suggestion on that one. That can go straight to our development team. Obviously, in the past, we did produce some figurines for our P-Class and AB locomotives. If you do own some of those, you can still purchase them as well. We have actually received some updated versions of those with a bit more detail. So maybe it is something we can look at for the Class 66 as well. So we'll keep you posted if something happens with that. We've got Nathan, and he says, love the Class 66 in Cemex livery, and he thinks he knows what he's going to be ordering for Christmas. We've got Elton Loveridge. What is the expected date for the Class 66 to be in the UK? Right, so we've got H4-66001 through to H4-66031. Should be fairly soon, shouldn't it? That'll be towards the end of November, early December.
Well, if you've pre-ordered your 66, we will get it to you before Christmas. So the first 31, which are the original liveries announced, plus the large logo livery, if you've pre-ordered, they will be with you before Christmas. If you've not pre-ordered, you can still put a pre-order in now, but they will be with you just after Christmas. The other variations with Biffa and the 5 liveries now announced will all be in before Christmas. So if you place a pre-order now, or you've already got a pre-order, they'll come to you before Christmas regardless.
That's it. So really not long to wait for the 66s now. So I'm sure you guys will be very excited to get one of those, especially if you've pre-ordered it. You'll be getting it under your Christmas tree, hopefully, as well.
Yes.
We've got Richard Lewis, and he says, your LBSCR coaches, is the 4-coach set going to have different running numbers from the individual coaches?
It will do indeed, yes. With the Project Genesis, the 4-coach packs and the individual coaches that are available to order do have different running numbers, so you can expand the sets or swap them around, and that will be exactly the same with the London, Brighton and South Coast Railway versions.
Brilliant stuff. And we've got Gareth Waite here, who actually popped in to see me the other day. So very nice to see you in the chat again, Gareth, and thank you very much for coming down to see us. He says, afternoon, guys. Big thank you for coming and talking to me the other day. He appreciates calling in, and he can't wait to get another P-Class, as he look great in green as well. So hope you're enjoying the ones you've already got, and sure you might be able to get another one in the future.
We still do have quite a few of the P-Classes available to order. Not all liveries are now available, and they are selling out as well. So if you have been tempted by one of our P-Classes, do take a look, because they're not going to be around forever.
That's it. We've got Ben Davis, and he says, do you know when the Hornby Peckett W4 Daphne R3702 is going out?
Now, we are told that Daphne is going to be in early 2020, and if I'm right in believing so, there are quite a few more Pecketts on the way from Hornby. We have the Charity Colliery version one as well. I believe Daphne is the purple version that's coming through, so quite a distinct colour. And there's also Bear as well in light blue. All of those are available to pre-order right now, with delivery in early 2020.
Brilliant. We've only got about 2 minutes left on the stream now, so we'll try and answer some really quick questions. But I can see there is a lot there, so if we don't get to answer yours, do get in touch with us on social media or somewhere, and we can help you out with that. We've got Will Braddock. Any news on the Helgen Class 25-3?
The 00 version is expected in mid-2020. We're told that we might see some decorated samples of those very soon as well. We do have the images of the first engineering prototype on our website, so have a look at those for now, and as soon as we get those colour samples, we'll be putting them on our website as well as featuring them right here on Platform 1.
We've got Evanswood Central. Any news on the Dapol 59?
The 59 is something we've been told to expect in spring 2020 now. That is still coming through. We're expected again to see colour samples very soon.
Brilliant. We've got London International asking when the Hornby Mark IIF network rail coaches are due.
They are due with us next week, actually, so they are another thing that you might see on Platform 1 next week, but they are due with us within the next few days.
Brilliant. Dicko6833 has said any dates on Dapol O-Gauge Class 121s?
The 121s, we've been told, have gone back to just after Christmas now, but they are still available to pre-order. There's quite a few different liveries to go out there on their O-Gauge range, from BR Green right through to BR Blue and BR Blue Grey as well, so perfect single car DMUs for the O-Gauge modeler and available to pre-order now.
Brilliant. There's a lot coming out, loads of things coming to see, and loads into 2020 as well, so it's an exciting time, really.
It really is.
Lots for us to show on the show as well. Right, unfortunately, guys, I think that's the end of the show for today. Some amazing questions in there, but sorry we've not had a chance to get around to all of them. But like I say, if you get in touch with us somewhere else, we can certainly help you out with any of the information you need to know.
Yes.
Or tune into another show and feel free to ask again, and you might get lucky next time. So I think that's about it for today. I've been Jackie, he's been Dave, and we look forward to seeing you guys next week.
We'll see you soon, guys. Take care.